We're just about live. I'm going to wait and see if we get someone in before I start. And if I don't have anyone by the 30-second mark, I'm just going to go ahead and start anyway. So, because I hate dead air. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start. All right, welcome back to WMMA Now with your host, Chip Stevenson, and welcome to the catch-up, I guess we're calling this. Just a lot of fight news going on in the past week, and I did not have time to dedicate to, each one individually. So, I just wanted to do like a live stream and go more in depth to them than I would be able to on like the regular Thursday show, where I'm just reading down, news item after news item after news item, maybe leaving like one comment on that, and then, having to move on to the next one. So I thought I'd do this show a little bit impromptu. I mean, I gave it about 24-hour notice, and I decided we're going to go ahead and do this. So I'm going to go ahead and get into these different fight announcements. A lot of UFC, some changes to Invicta, some Pancrase news, Deep won championships this weekend, some one championship news. Then we'll talk a little bit about what's going on this weekend and the next, but not too much because, I have other items dedicated to those specifically. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the first thing up. So first up, let's see. Ketlen Vieira was supposed to fight Sarah McMahon this weekend. Unfortunately, Sarah McMahon had to pull out due to injury. So now Ketlen Vieira is going to be taking on Miesha Tate on October 16th. That's right around my birthday, so I'm pretty excited for that one. Let me get over to the stats here. So let me pull up the stats real quick. Let's see. Vieira coming in at 11-2. Cupcake Tate coming in at 19-7. Now Vieira is coming off of a loss to Yana Kunitskaya via decision about 5 months ago, whereas Tate is coming off, her comeback win over Marion Renault a month ago. So both have been active within the last 6 months. Let's see. Tate's the elder fighter, 35-30 for Vieira. So Vieira's going to have youth on her side. Vieira's also going to have height and reach advantage on her side. Height, 5'8", 173 centimeters to Vieira, 5'6", 168 centimeters to Tate, and then 68-inch reach, 173 centimeters for Vieira to 66.5-inch, 169 centimeters for Tate. So I was actually looking forward to the rematch between McMahon and Vieira. I thought, their first fight was pretty good. McMahon was actually, I had a head, and then between the first and second round, she just threw a brain fart or something and ended up getting, I can't remember if she got TKO'd or something. Let me bring those stats back up here real quick. Vieira defeated McMahon via arm triangle choke in the second round back in 2017. So that was a good while ago. So I was actually looking forward to this rematch, but it looks like McMahon had to draw out due to injury. And as far as I could tell, it was not specified what the injury was. But this matchup makes a lot of sense too, and it should be a good one. Both fighters, can hold their own on the feet, Tate and Vieira, but both honestly do their best work on the ground, and that's where things are going to get interesting for this matchup. Tate, her nickname used to be Takedown because she's primarily a wrestler. Vieira, not bad with her wrestling either, and on the ground, her jits is pretty slick. But I think that it's ultimately going to come down to who can implement their game plan the best when it hits the ground. Who gets the takedown, who can stay on top, who can land a better ground and pound, who can go for the submissions better. That's ultimately going to be what decides this fight. And I like this fight for both of them. Vieira needs a good win to come back to after losing to Kunitskaya. I mean, she just got straight up, somewhat dominated by Kunitskaya. I mean, just Kunitskaya's wall install in that fight was very good. Just smushed Vieira up against the cage. And, you know, Vieira couldn't do anything, or excuse me, yeah, Vieira couldn't do anything against Kunitskaya. Miesha Tate is a very different style of fighter, not as big, not as physically as imposing as Kunitskaya, but still brings a lot of problems on her own. Plus, brings that high pressure game that Kunitskaya did. But when you're taking on a former champion, that brings a lot of pressure to that fight. So Vieira is in for a tough one here. But on the same hand, Tate's in for a tough one too. I mean, Vieira is not, a 46-year-old woman on her way out of the game like Marion Renault was. Vieira is young, 5 years younger, just as strong as Renault. Doesn't hit as hard, but still brings in a game that can really be a problem for Miesha Tate. So this one could really hurt. This one could really be ups and downs for Miesha Tate. I mean, she's not in a big hurry to get to that title fight, Tate is. But I'll tell you what, if Vieira can beat Tate, that puts her right back into contention. So that one should be a very good one. So moving along on to the next one, another injury bug update. Tracy Cortez had to pull out of her bout this weekend against J.J. Aldrich due to injury. Stepping in is going to be Vanessa Little Monster Demopoulos, former LFA champ. So let me bring the stats up here. No. Yes. So Aldrich coming in at 9-4, Demopoulos coming in at 6-3. Both fighters are coming in off a win. Aldrich just defeated Courtney Casey via split decision 5 months ago. Demopoulos defeated Cynthia Arcio via TKO 4 months ago, so both have fought fairly recently. Aldrich has the youth on her side, 28 years to Demopoulos is 32. Aldrich is going to have some size on Demopoulos as well. 5'5", 165 centimeters height for Aldrich to 5'1", 155 centimeters for Demopoulos. 67.5-inch, 171 centimeter reach for Aldrich to 62-inch, 157 centimeters for Demopoulos. Now, the big key here, though, is that Aldrich has had time to acclimatize, to acclimate herself to the flyweight division, whereas Demopoulos has been fighting at strawweight. She is taking this fight on short notice and moving up in weight as well. So this could really give Demopoulos is in for a rough battle here. On the feet, Aldrich is a much cleaner striker than Demopoulos is. Demopoulos hits heavy, but she just doesn't have, the combinations that Aldrich has. Doesn't put it together as well. I mean, Demopoulos can slug it out. Like I said, she's a heavy hitter, and she is a slugger. However, she just isn't as clean of a striker. Now, on the ground, if Demopoulos can get to the ground, her jits is very good. Very nice jiu-jitsu. Trained out of Team Black House, trains with a lot of legit black belts. I'm not sure what Demopoulos' belt level is. But her jiu-jitsu, nothing to mess with on the ground. So if she can get to the ground against J.J. Aldrich, she has a very good chance. Aldrich, man, I can't remember last time we saw Aldrich in an extended ground play. So if Demopoulos' best chance in this fight is to get it to the ground. For Aldrich, just got to keep it on the feet, and I think that she'll be able to walk away with a decision victory here. I don't see her finishing Demopoulos. Aldrich just isn't a finisher, but if she keeps it on the feet, it should be a fairly easy win against the late notice, moving up in weight Demopoulos. But if Demopoulos gets it to the ground, I feel she'll be able to even out things. So should make for an exciting fight. Another LFA fighter taking a fight on short notice to get into the UFC. That's just the name of the game if you're in the LFA strawweight division. Next up, this is big for the strawweight division here. Amanda Lemos, or Nina Nunes, taking on Amanda Lemos. This fight's going to go down December 18th. So it's official, but who knows what will happen between now and then. So we'll just have to see. Anyway, the Strina coming in at 10-7. Lemos coming in at 10-1-1. Now, Nunes coming off of 2 straight losses. First to Suarez a little over 2 years ago. Most recently, she had her comeback fight against Mackenzie Dern, got submitted in the first round. That was 4 months ago. Lemos on a nice winning streak in the UFC over Miranda Granger, Mizuki Inoue, Lavina Souza, and then most recently over Montserrat Ruiz. Listen, neither of these fighters are exactly spring chickens here. Nunes coming in at 36 years old to Lemos's 34. Let's see, Nina is slightly taller, 5'5", 166 centimeters to Lemos's 5'4", 163 centimeters. Lemos has the opposite in reach, though. 65 inches, 165 centimeters for Lemos to 64 inches, 163 centimeters for Nunes. So slightly opposite in the reach there. Anyway, this is very dangerous for Nunes, for Nina. I mean, she's only had 1 fight back since off of a long layoff. But also, this is a big step up for Amanda Lemos here. You know, Lemos has not fought top-level fighters in the UFC. She had 1 fight. I'd say her best win so far is Mizuki Inoue, but let's be honest here. Fighting a much better striker in Nina Nunes. I'm still not used to calling her that. Listen, Nunes is not Montserrat Ruiz, okay? Nunes is not just going to run face first into Lemos's fists. Lemos is going to have a good strike. This is going to should be a good striking battle here. I don't see this one going to the ground, and this is a possible war here. And honestly, for all the hype that Lemos has been getting, 4 straight wins, 4 finishes, I believe, all finishes. 2, 3. Okay. 3 finishes and 4 wins. But granted, they're not against a top 10 level fighter. Nunes, well, we still got to see if she's a top 10 level fighter. Right now, she's still ranked within the top 10 of the UFC strawweight rankings. And Lemos is getting a big push here based on the hype and based on those last 2 finishes by strikes. And she's got to live up to this one here. I mean, she's not going to get too many chances to move up like this. If she blows this one, she's already at 34 years old. If she wins, boom, she's in the top 10. And now she's got to face some top fighters. But if she loses, she's back down to facing unranked fighters. I mean, the only ranked fighter she beat was Mizuki, I believe. And that was at the bottom of the rankings. So she hasn't really beaten a good ranked fighter yet. And so she's getting a big step up here against Nina Nunes. So if she can get it, that's a big win for her. For Nunes, this is a chance for her to show that, hey, I may have been on a long layoff, and I may be 36 years old, but I am still a top fighter, okay? I'm still the one that went on a nice win streak, and then I'm still the fighter that went, toe-to-toe with Tatiana Suarez and gave her hell in that fight, okay? She was the only fighter so far to give Tatiana Suarez hell. And that was a while ago. Suarez hasn't fought since then because of injuries, but still, Nina's got to come out here, and she's got to show the dog in her in this fight. She's got to show that she's still on top. Otherwise, she is given a big ranking spot to someone who otherwise has not shown it previously. So this should be a very exciting one. This goes down December, I believe it said 18th. Yeah, fight night on December 18th. Let's move on. Roxanne Modafferi versus Tyler Santos at flyweight. Now, this one is going down. What the heck? No. So this one's going down at UFC 266, Volkanovski versus Ortega on September 25th. So this one's just a month away. Let's see here. The Happy Warrior coming in at 25-18. Santos coming in at 17-1. Now, Modafferi is coming off of a loss to Viviane Araújo 6 months ago by decision, preceded by a win over Andrea Lee via decision 11 months ago. Santos coming in off of 2 straight wins. First to Molly McCann a little over a year ago, and then to a decision win over Jillian Robertson 7 months ago. Now, Santos was supposed to face Mandy Bohm, and then that fight got switched around, so now she's facing Modafferi here. Modafferi, 11 years the elder, 39-28 for Santos. So Santos is going to have that youth on her side. Modafferi is slightly taller, 5 feet 7 inch, 170 centimeters to 5 feet 6 inch, 168 centimeters for Santos. Slight reach as well for Modafferi, 69 inch, 175 centimeters to Santos's 68 inch, 173 centimeters. So getting back in. I see we got someone watching. The chat is open if you have any questions, just breaking down fights and going over some news, catching up right now. So this is the biggest test for Taila Santos to date. I believe Modafferi's still ranked in the top 10. Let me pull that up real quick here. Pull those rankings up. Flyweight. So Santos is at number 12. Modafferi is at number 9. So this is a big chance for Taila Santos to break into that top 10. And she is traditionally the style of fighter that gives Modafferi trouble. Okay, Modafferi can usually beat fighters that are just as technical as her, but aren't necessarily athletic, athletically advantaged, because that's what she is. She's a technical fighter, but she's not a natural athlete. She doesn't have those athletic ability, that natural athletic ability. Modafferi also is capable of beating fighters who have athletic ability, but don't necessarily have the technical ability to beat Modafferi. So she's very good at beating fighters at a certain level. Like if their athletic ability is good, but their technical ability is down here, then Modafferi is going to win. But if their technical ability is equal to their athletic ability, then they're going to beat Modafferi down here. Because Modafferi is like in the middle. She has that technical ability to overcome good athletic fighters, but not if they're also technically sound. And she's also more technical than a lot of fighters who aren't, naturally athletic. So Santos, we know she's athletic. We know she's athletic. We know she's a natural athlete. Do her skills reach that same athleticism? Because if they do, then she's going to beat Modafferi. If not, she could be in for a long night. I think Santos's best chances here to stay on the outside against Modafferi. If you can stay on the outside against Modafferi, like the way Viviane Araújo did for 2 rounds, and stop the takedowns of Modafferi. That's the key. You got to stop the takedowns of Modafferi. If she can stay on the outside and stop the takedowns, then she can beat Modafferi. She's got to show that her technical ability is up to the standards of her athletic ability, though. If she can't keep the distance, if she can't stop the takedowns, she could be in for a long night. We know she has the gas tank, unlike Araújo, who gassed out hard in the fight against Modafferi, but still had the 2 rounds, took the 2 rounds to beat out the 3rd round. So like I said, big test here for Taila Santos. I think she has a very good chance of beating Modafferi. I think her technical abilities are at least equal to her natural athleticism. So I think I can see her beating Modafferi. But Modafferi is game no matter what. And Modafferi is like, I hate to use this word because I feel a lot of people overuse this word and they don't use it well. But Modafferi is honestly a good gatekeeper in this division. She keeps the scrubs out of the top 10. If you can beat Modafferi, then you are good enough to get into that top 10. But if you're not, then you're going to be kept out of that top 10. She keeps, and I don't mean to call like fighters within the top 15 scrubs. I mean, she is going to test if you are elite, if you have that athletic ability, if you have the skills as well to hang in the top 10. You got to have both to hang in the top 10 of this division. If you don't have both athletic ability, natural athleticism, and good technical skills, you're not going to be able to hold your own in the top 10 of this UFC women's flyweight division. But if you have both and you can beat Modafferi, then it's proof that you can hang. And hey, hats off to Roxanne Modafferi. She's 39 years old, still hanging in there just inside that top 10. Got to give it to her. I mean, happy warrior, man. Gets mucho respect from me. So that's it for UFC news. So we've got a couple of Invicta updates. So first off, Brogan Sanchez was supposed to be taking on Mara Romero Barella this Friday at Invicta 44. Barella is out due to visa issues. Stepping up on short notice, Emily King, who I just interviewed last week. Now, King was supposed to be fighting next weekend in a strawweight bout at VFC 87. She's stepping up on short notice into a flyweight bout against Brogan Sanchez. It's going to be a tough one for King. I like Emily, but I got to keep it straight. This is going to be a tough one for her. She's moving up weight class. Granted, she's not having to cut weight to make this fight, so not depleting herself or anything. But this is going to be a tough one. Sanchez is a very strong fighter, athletic, got some good skill on her. This is going to be an uphill battle for Emily King. But hey, hats off. Salute to Emily King for stepping up on short notice in this one. I'm not going to go into too big of a detail on this one, like go down the stats or everything. Going to be doing an Invicta preview Thursday night. The WMMA Scene Report this Thursday is going to be dedicated to the Invicta preview. But also Invicta news. Katie Saul on the left-hand side there was supposed to be taking on Monique Adriani out of Brazil. Adriani is out again due to visa issues. So she's going to be taking on short notice replacement Marissa Messer-Valencia. And as far as I know, this is still at atom weight. You might remember Valencia was a actually, I believe Valencia replaced Katie Saul in the Invicta Phoenix tournament for the atom weights because Saul had visa issues. So now Saul is going to be here this week. She's already here. And Marissa Messer-Valencia is going to be facing the woman that she replaced in the Invicta Phoenix Series tournament. I believe I remembered that correctly. But this should be a good one. You know, both fighters bring a lot of action. Both come to stand and bang. Should make for a good stand-up battle in the always exciting atom weight division. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Like I said, we'll go down the stats and everything on Thursday night. Draka in the chat with the thumbs up. Welcome to the scene, Draka. I don't recognize you from previous streams, so welcome. We'll leave your comment up there for a little bit. Then Pancrase 324 goes down October 27th. Now, I already mentioned that this bout is going to be featuring a interim flyweight battle between Nori and Takeo Hashi. But just announced this past week, within the last couple of days, Nori's teammate Karen will be taking on, what is her name? Shintani, something Shintani. Hold on one sec. Let me bring it up here. Katomi Shintani in a strawweight bout. So looking at the stats here, Karen is coming in 3-0. Has won every fight as a pro. All 3 fights come within the last 2 years. Most recently, defeated Ayumi Edge Saito via TKO due to ground and pound just under 2 months ago. Now, Shintani, actually it was just like less than a month ago. Now, Shintani is coming off of her pro debut where she took a win over the much more experienced Erika Sasaki just a few weeks ago. So Shintani coming off a pro debut, and coming off a pro debut and moving up in weight for this one. However, it kind of balances out because she beat a much more experienced opponent in her debut. So didn't get to see that fight yet. I think it might be up on YouTube. Shintani versus Erica from I believe, what was that? War Dog cage fight. So you might be able to go check that one out. Just look up War Dog cage fight for the channel on YouTube. But Karen is one I'm keeping an eye on. Like, she is one of my, youth warriors that I've been keeping an eye on. I forget the term I had for them, but I've been keeping an eye on her. Very promising young fighter, 3-0. She'll have just turned 18 when this fight goes down. So, just out of high school or still in high school. Her and Nori previously of Team Date, but Karen is by far the most promising fighter to come out of that team. So keeping an eye on this one. Bit of a letdown compared to her last fight, though. I'm not going to lie. A bit of a letdown compared to her last opponent, but still looking forward to what she brings and looking forward to what Shintani brings as well. Keeping it along. Deep 104 goes down October 23rd, and they have announced that Deep Jules, newly crowned Deep Jules strawweight champion, Seika Izawa, is going to be moving down to 49 kilograms. That's 108 pounds. That's the super atom weight for Ryzen, to be taking on Shiyu Park. Park just fought recently at Deep Jules 33 as well, where she lost in the semifinals of the Atomweight Grand Prix. I am so torn and conflicted on this bout here. I like both of these fighters a lot. I think Izawa shows a lot of promise as a fighter, and apparently she was not really cutting weight to make straw weight, so she says that she should be able to make atom weight, or super atom weight rather, no problem. She will be taking on the toughest striker that she has faced yet in Shiyu Park. But then again, man, Shiyu Park, she just got defeated by one judoka, and now she is taking on a top flight judoka and a good wrestler as well in Izawa. So this bout, like I said, this one has me. I am conflicted over this because I like both fighters. I'm not trying to see Shiyu Park take a second straight loss, but I'm also not trying to see Seika Izawa lose down a weight class too. I mean, granted, she could always use the excuse that, that the weight cut was tougher than she thought, but it's going to be a good one. And this is going to be at 3 rounds. 3-round fight for the ladies in Deep. Deep Jules and Deep, a lot of their ladies' bouts are only 2 rounds apiece, but this one will be the full 3 5-minute rounds. Like I said, I'm just really torn over this one. I'm really looking forward to it, though. That goes down October 23rd. This should be a good one, though. Good grappler in Izawa taking on a good striker in Park. Excellent striker in Izawa taking on it. Or no, excellent grappler in Izawa taking on a very good striker in Park. So just really conflicted for this one. Then One Championship Revolution goes down September 24th. I might have talked about this. Yeah, I think I did before a little bit, but Victoria Lee making her 3rd bout this year. Just turned pro, fighting 3 times in 1 year. She'll be taking on Victoria Vic Souza out of Brazil. Lee coming in at 2-0. Souza coming in 5-0, undefeated. Lee most recently fought like a month ago against defeating Lupin Wan via submission due to armbar. Victoria Souza just fought 2.5 months ago, defeating her opponent via TKO due to punches. Let's see. What stats do I have available? So Souza is 24 years old to, I believe, 17 still for Lee. Souza comes in at 5 inches, 152 centimeters, and here's the ridiculous part here. Let me bring up Lee's stats real quick. Victoria Lee, 5'5", 166 centimeters. No reach available for either fighter. So this is a typical, basically the same style of fight that they've been giving Victoria Lee since the beginning. And I don't see them giving her anything different for at least another 2 fights after this. They're giving her fighters whose records look good on paper, but don't necessarily hold up to actual scrutiny. Because let me bring over Souza's record for you guys to look at. Okay, so Souza is facing Lee on 9/24. All of Souza's fights have come within since 2020, but look at who she's fought since then. Debut fight was against another debutante. Second fight against another debutante. Debutante, debutante, debutante. All 5 fights against debutantes. She has not faced a single step up in competition since her debut. So it's basically the same thing as Victoria Lee. Now, I will say this, though. Other than one lone decision in her second fight, Souza has won by finish. Armbarred her first opponent, triangle choked her third opponent, and then her last 2 wins have come via punches. And all those finishes are in the first round. So, yeah, like I said, her record looks good on paper, but it doesn't really hold up to scrutiny. And, I mean, you're fighting nothing but debutantes. How can we say that you're actually getting better as a fighter if you're fighting nothing but debutantes and you're beating them in the first round each time? So it's kind of like, yeah, like I said, this is the same style of fight of opponent we've seen Victoria Lee face twice now. Record looks good on paper, but it just doesn't hold up to scrutiny when you really get down into it. So we'll have to see, though. I mean, hey, Souza might be legit. She could be the can crusher that crushes the can in Victoria Lee. Or Victoria Lee could continue to crush cans and crush a fellow can crusher in Vic Souza. And that's nothing against their opponents. You know, I don't like calling fighters cans. I don't like calling them can crushers. But this is just more of the same for Victoria Lee. And that's nothing against her either. It's all on one championship, just not really giving her a step up yet. And then some people are going to say, oh, she's a teenager. This is what she's supposed to be facing. Or, oh, she's a beginner. This is what she's supposed to be facing. Yes. But most fighters just starting out aren't getting big push by their promoters. So, moving along. This weekend, got one Battleground 3. We got B. Nguyen taking on Jenilyn Olsen. Should make for a good fight. Both fighters bring in exciting styles. Nguyen obviously has much more experience than Olsen, but both are very tough. Both prefer to stand on the feet and bang. Olsen, coming out of Team Lakay in the Philippines, we know they put out good strikers. They don't put out bad strikers in Team Lakay, but they do put out fighters with questionable ground games. Team Lakay, man, their ground game's always been suspect in their fighters. But so B could look to take this to the ground if she was smart. If I were B, I'd look to take this one to the ground. She'll definitely have an advantage there. But if she doesn't, then I don't blame her. I think she can definitely stand up to Olsen on the feet. You see here on the height, though, big height advantage for Olsen, 161 centimeters to 150 for B. She's 4'11". She's always going to be a small fighter in this division. She's going to be smaller than I think everybody but Rika Ishige, who's also like 4'11". So that's this Friday, and it's a pre-recorded fight as well. but I haven't seen any leaked results for it yet. So then also Friday night, Invicta 44, a new era. I'm going to go down on pay-per-view for like $19.99 on Fight TV. That's fight.tv, FITE.tv. If you want to watch it, I think it's going to be available on like via cable as well, or like DirecTV or something via pay-per-view. I'm not sure. I'll be watching it via Fight. Got 2 championship fights here. Bantamweight fight between Lisa Verzosa and Tanisha Tennant, and then the vacant strawweight title between Emily Ducote and Danielle Taylor. Now, like I said, going to go way more into depth on this event on Thursday night for the WMMA scene report. That's going to be like the big topic on Thursday night. But I think there's some good fights on this card as well. Definitely worth the $20. Like, I'm going to make the argument on Thursday night that, look, it's $20. Skip lunch for 2 days. Or, not skip lunch. Take a lunch to work for 2 days. Don't eat out for 2 days for lunch. And boom, you can afford this. If money's tight, I understand. It's tight for a lot of people. But, support Invicta and these ladies. And you're getting 2 title fights for $20. Then on Saturday, High League, Lil Masti versus Ava Bradniczka. Now, Bradniczka is the former WBO 130 pounds world boxing champion, if you're not familiar with her. Lil Masti is like a reality star, singer, but she's 2-0 in MMA. Bradniczka making her MMA debut. So this is why I wanted to showcase this one a little bit. Let me see. Did I bring up the stats on this one? I don't think I did. No, not that one. Oh, window. Which one am I looking at? There we go. Let me bring up the stats on this one real quick here. Sorry for being unprepared on this one. So this is for High League going down in Poland this Saturday. This is the only fight they actually have listed on Tapology. Like, this other lady's fight is between 2 reality stars or TikTokers or something. So I'm not paying attention. But let's see. Anelia Bogus, Lil Masti, coming in at 2-0. Bradniczka coming in, making her debut in MMA. But she is 20-1 as a boxer. Coming off a win back in March in boxing over Milena Koleva, whoever that is, in boxing. But lost her bout before that in October to Michaela Mayer of the U.S. But what other stats we got? So Bradniczka's the taller fighter, 5'8", 173 centimeters to 5'7", 170 centimeters for Masti, Lil Masti. No reach available for Lil Masti. Bradniczka has a 70.5-inch, 179 centimeter reach. So that's a nice reach for Bradniczka. I don't know anything about Lil Masti. I haven't seen her 2 previous fights. I think they're both for Fame MMA, which is just one was for Fame, other was for FEN 34 against, both of her bouts were against, like, celebrity style bouts. Don't really have a whole lot to say. For the people watching, the chat is open. So if you have any questions, comments, I might try to check this one out. If I can find, if it's for free, I'll definitely check it out. If not, I'm probably going to skip on it. Like, I'll pay for some events, but this one, just for this bout, I'll probably skip. I don't see Masti being able to keep up with Bradniczka on the feet. Not with that, not with her boxing. Like, what, 30 bouts to 1 loss, I think it said. Bradniczka's probably going to tear her apart on the feet. Lil Masti's got to get this one to the ground against Ava Bradniczka. As for who wins, who knows? I mean, it's kind of it's a bit of a circus bout. It really is. I mean, but it is nice to see, a high-level boxer make that venture in MMA, even if it's not against necessarily a totally serious opponent. If she does well, maybe she'll take on a more serious opponent next time. You never know. I mean, Branichka's getting old. Probably not going to see gold again in boxing. And by old, I mean like old for a fighter, like 38. Probably not going to see gold again in boxing. But if she likes MMA and takes to it well, and she actually has trained and does well, she could make the conversion to MMA. And she'd fit right in, at like bantamweight. She fights at 130 pounds in boxing. And having seen her box, she's got a very like clinch heavy, hold heavy style of boxing. She likes to hold a lot and gets away with it a lot over there in Europe. Didn't get away with it so much against Michaela Mayer, but that could really translate well into some dirty boxing in MMA. She could, grab some clinch, get some punches in, some elbows, some uppercuts, Her style could translate really well to MMA if she's got the ground game to back it up. Does she? That's anybody's guess. I have no clue. But hoping she does well. Hoping Ava Branichka does well. Because like I said, if she does well, it could convert into a full MMA conversion. You never know. There's like one bout, I think, this Saturday for the UFC. Let me see. This Saturday, one lady bout. Yeah, just Aldrich versus Demopoulos. I already talked about that one. So that's the only ladies bout for this Saturday. But next week, let's talk about next week for a little bit here. Not going to go too in depth, but just want to talk about it a little bit. Next week, first up, Friday, we got One Empower. First all-ladies event put on by a major promotion. I mean, okay, Invicta's great, but I don't consider it like a major promotion. Yeah, they got a TV deal now, so they could be working on it. But I'm talking like big, worldwide, brings in viewers and fighters from all over the world, like serious talking MMA promotion. First all-ladies bout event put on by a big promotion. Could be huge. I'm hoping it does really well for one. And they've got a lot of popular fighters on this card. First up, got Grace Cleveland making her debut against the winner of B. Nguyen versus Jenny Lynn Olson. And got May Yamaguchi versus Julie Meza-Barber. Now, those two, of course, are the tournament reserve bouts for the Atomweight Grand Prix. Then we got Jackie Buntan versus Daniela Lopez in a Muay Thai bout. Then we got former Glory Kickboxing World Champion Anissa Mexen against Christina Morales. Mexen is like 101 as a pro. So 100 wins to like 1 loss. Or it might be like 100-3. Something ridiculous. She has over 100 just over 100 kickboxing bouts with only a few losses. Very few losses. So that's going to be big too. She could bring a lot of eyes. Then we got, of course, the Atomweight World Grand Prix quarterfinals. Itsuki Hirata versus Elise Anderson. Monbo versus Ritu Fogat. Aliona Rasohina versus Stamp Fairtex, the rematch. And then this has to be probably the most anticipated bout in the Grand Prix so far, possibly on this card. Denise Zamboanga taking on Sahi Ham. The number one atomweight in one championship, taking on the number one atomweight really in the world in Sahi Ham. This fight's going to be huge. And I say this is most anticipated. I'm going by I did 3 previews so far. I did Zamboanga versus Ham, Rasulina versus Fairtex, and Hirata versus Anderson. Haven't gotten Mumbo versus Foget yet. Trying to. But out of the 3 I've done so far, this bout here, Zamboanga versus Ham, blows the other 2 out of the water as far as views. So that's why I think this one is going to be huge. And then finally, in the main event, the Women's Strawweight World Championship. Seon Jin Nan taking on Michelle Nicolini. Boxer, BJJ. Really looking forward to this one. Working on the preview for this one too. Hoping I can get it done tomorrow night. Then also next week, Deep Jewels 34, all ladies bout as well. This goes down Saturday morning in the US, in the West. Saturday evening in Japan. Zazakita says, excited mostly for Sahi Ham. Me too, man. Me too. My all-time favorite ladies fighter. Deep Jules, looking forward to this one. Taya versus Pochan Z in a lightweight bout. I am Murakami taking on Kyoka in a microweight 97-pound bout. Eru Takebayashi taking on, I forget this girl's name, at atomweight, I believe, or super atomweight. I believe it's atomweight. Then we got the 4-way grappling bout that the pair-ups will be decided on the day. Hikaru Ano, Seika Izawa, Emi Tomomatsu, and damn, I forgot her name. Mika Nagano. Mika Nagano making her return for a grappling bout. Then we got Miko Nirvana taking on Kate Lotus in a flyweight bout. And then the main event at atomweight. Yeah, at atomweight, Mizuki Furuse taking on Mizuki Oshiro. So not like the most stacked card for Deep Jewels, but should be a good one. Now that goes down Saturday morning in the US, about 5 a.m. start time on the East Coast, like me. It is pay-per-view. It's like $25, I believe. You get slight discount if you order it before the day of the event. So I'll order it. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do a live fight companion for this one, but because I got to work Saturday morning. So, but I will try to watch all the bouts that I can and do some reviews on it. I might end up doing a delayed fight companion for this, though. We'll see. And what else? Next week, also, Saturday morning, Road FC 59. First off, Atomweight Championship, vacant Atomweight Championship. Park Jun-un taking on Shim Yu-ri. This is going down in South Korea. These two fought once before they last met. It was their last bout for each of them. Park Jun-un defeating Yuri Shim via TKO in the second round. But this time it's for the vacant Atomweight Championship. This was the title that was previously held by Sahi Ham. She won like 3 straight fights in road, 2 of them by finish. Beat Mina Kurobi, Jinyu Fry via knockout, and then decision to Park Jun-un. And now these two are taking each other on again in a rematch for the title. I kind of feel like this is just a bout to put on a title bout. And like, I'm not super excited for this bout, even though I love both of these fighters. I'm just not super excited because neither of them have faced anyone else since then. And also, it's been almost 2 years since they last fought, because they last fought in December of 2019. They headlined the Road FC Double X All Women's card that year. So, but that's the co-main event. There's also a ladies strawweight bout on this card. Shin Yu-jin taking on, what is this other girl's name? I think her name is Park Jun-un too. So Shin Yu-jin taking on, one second. Shin Yu-jin taking on Lee Eun-jung. Shin Yu-jin is another of those fighters. She's like 17 years old, already 3-0. Coming off a win last October. So she hasn't fought since last October via split decision. Eun-jung Lee, or Lee Eun-jung, coming in at 1-2. She is coming off her first pro win over Hyunju Baek via split decision last May. So both these ladies are coming off with long layoffs into this bout. But should be a good one. Shin Yu-jin is another of my, young fighters under 20, 21 to keep an eye on. Zezakiza says, man, COVID really messed up a lot of fighters. It messed up a ton. Road FC also just really held off on holding events. Like Road FC didn't hold off a road event in all of 2020. Now they put on their ARC like sub events, which had different rules. They put on several of those last year, but as for named Road FC events, they didn't put on any last year and just got back to them this year. So yeah, COVID just really harsh. There's other reasons behind Road holding off on events as well too that we won't get into, mostly financial. Then this is the big fight next going on for me next week in the UFC. There's another ladies bout as well, but this one to me is the most exciting. There's Lipski versus Ariana Lipski versus someone on the main card. But for me, this prelim bout between Jeon Kim or Kim Jeon and Meatball Molly McCann, this is going to be an absolute banger. I am so excited for this one. Both of these ladies come in to bang, throw fists, and both ladies, Meatball Molly, she's coming in off some losses, but has shown some good improvement in her bout. Now, Jeon Kim, she's moved to the U.S. I believe she is now going to permanently establish herself here. She came to do some rehab at the UFC Performance Academy, but also started training at Syndicate alongside some other ladies MMA fighters like Joanne Calderwood, Roxanne Modafferi, some other good ladies in UFC, Invicta, and elsewhere. And just really leveling up her training. She even says, like, she's like really works well with John Wood, the head coach over there, Joanne Calderwood's husband. Big John Wood just has talked, really well about how much she feels she has improved as a fighter since moving to the U.S. So both of these fighters bring in a lot of improvements into this bout. Really looking forward to this one. Zazakita says, Kim versus McMahon. I'm super curious if McMahon will try to grab a little bit. If she does, I wouldn't blame her. But I think McMahon is slightly faster as a striker than Kim. Kim is a little bit slow, but Kim hits hard. Kim hits hard. I mean, she's called Fire Fist for a reason. And just really looking forward to this one. But yeah, overall, next weekend is huge for Asian women's MMA. It's going to be a big weekend. And I'm trying to bring someone on to talk about that in depth more, trying to get a live show. But we'll see if that comes together, because the person I'm trying to bring on, he lives in Japan. And it's just hard to mix with those two time zones because I work way too much. He works a lot every day and just got opposite time zones, really. So be really hard. But Kim versus McMahon, really looking forward to that one. Fire Fist versus Meatball should be an exciting one. But yeah, that's it. Bit of a long one, just catching up, but it went really well. Got 5 viewers in the stream. Hoping you're all hitting that like button, getting that algorithm going. Started off slow with this stream, but definitely picking up here towards the end. Always does, unfortunately, right at the end. But does anybody have any questions on anything? Leave them in the chat. But a lot of as you can see, we covered a lot tonight. I mean, just a lot of fights to go over. This Thursday, going to do full preview of Invicta FC. Now, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do a fight companion for it. I'll let you know probably Thursday night, and I'll schedule the stream then. It just depends, because if I schedule a fight companion, I got to find a way to watch it on a big screen besides my, like I've got a 2-monitor setup here and then here, and I've got to try to find like a third monitor to watch it on, or I got to resort to watching it on my iPad, unfortunately, so that I can hear the volume. But we'll see, because I do like to hear the commentary for Invicta. Also, like, Invicta has Misha Tate and Yves Edwards doing commentary alongside TJ DeSantis. for Invicta 44. So I'll have to make up my mind if I'm going to do a fight companion for Invicta. But I'll let you know Thursday night during the live stream. But like I said, a lot to look forward to. And so that's really it for me. Like I try to cover a lot in as little bit of time as possible. Like I'm just not one of those people, like guys, that is going to go on and on and on during a live stream. Of course, live participation is important. So the more people participate in the chat, the brother man, what's up? Just getting in here. Of course, the more people participate in the chat, the more it draws the stream out. But I try to keep them concise. I'm just not the type that can drone on and on and on about any particular. I mean, I can, but I just don't like to. I don't like to. I worry about wasting people's time sometimes. So, but yeah, a lot of news that went on the last 2 weeks that I wanted to talk about. Just to get caught up. Didn't have the time to dedicate to individual news videos for everything. So glad I got to catch up on a lot of things. It was a lot to cover, but glad I got it through. The brother man says the pandemic has created a lot of damage than the COVID itself. So yeah, that is true. The shutdowns and everything honestly probably did more damage. You know what? No, I'm not going to go in. I'm not going to go into that. I don't want to get this stream flagged. YouTube will flag it. Granted, I don't monetize my live streams. I mean, if people want to do super chat, that is available, but I don't monetize the streams themselves. I don't want to get demonetized just because I swear once or twice or say something off key, because YouTube will demonetize streams with the quickness. So I don't even bother monetizing them. What did I miss entirely? Well, let me grab my notes here real quick. So we went over. I'll bring the. That's not the one I clicked on. So we went over McMahon out of her fight versus Ketlin Vieira. Vieira's now fighting Tate in October. Tracy Cortez was out of her fight with JJ Aldrich this weekend. Vanessa Demopoulos in. So Demopoulos coming up from LFA, moving up to flyweight on short notice, take on Aldrich. Nina Nunes taking on Amanda Lemos. That's in December. Judy V coming in late. Evening Judy V. Usually you're like out by this time. For like, well, no, not necessarily, because no, that's not true, because you're I usually start the streams around this time, so. But Amanda Lemos taking on Nina Nunes in December. This fight goes down in next month, I believe. Roxanne Modafferi taking on Tyler Santos. Then Emily King, who is supposed to fight at VFC next weekend, supporting Emily King, is actually fighting this weekend now. She's moving up from strawweight to flyweight to take on Brogan Sanchez at Invicta 44 on Friday night. Best of luck to Emily. Katie Saul was supposed to take on Monique Adriani. Adriani is out due to visa issues. So Marissa Messer-Valencia is coming in, and that's at atomweight. That's at Invicta. Then I already talked about Nori versus Hashi once before, but Karen versus Shintani going down at Pancrase 324 on October 17th. Karen's one of the teenage, wonderkins coming up in MMA. Then Seika Izawa, the current Deep Jewels strawweight champion, is taking on Shiyu Park, moving up from atomweight. Both are meeting in the middle at 108 pounds, super atomweight at Deep 104, the Big Deep show. That's a very good, exciting show. Yeah, Judy just walked in. Judy B says, what time zone are you at? So I am at Eastern Daylight Saving Time. So it is 10 p.m. right now, my time. But if you, well, I know you've mentioned that you don't always get the notifications. So it is 10 p.m. my time. So go ahead if you want to sync up. Then keep it on going. Victoria Lee fighting Victoria Vic Souza at One Revolution, September 24th. Then we went over everything going on this weekend. B. Nguyen versus Jenilyn Olsom this weekend on One Friday morning at One Battleground 3. Pre-recorded fight. Invicta 44 going down Friday night in the U.S. via pay-per-view, $19.99 at Fight.tv. Saturday, former 130-pound WBO World Boxing Champion Ava Branichka making her MMA debut, taking on Anila Bogus Lilmasti, who is 2-0 in MMA. That's in Poland at High League. Then we talked about next weekend is One Empower. I already talked about that a bunch. Deep Jewels 34 goes down next Saturday. Then also next Saturday, Road FC 59, women's atomweight bout championship, and then a lady strawweight bout as well. And then we talked about Jiyeon Kim versus Molly McCann going down next Saturday. Ivan says, great stream. Well, thank you for watching, Ivan. Appreciate that. Welcome to the scene. The brother man with a $5 super chat. That is not necessary, but much appreciated. Thank you very much to brother man. Ivan says it's 4 in the morning. Good Lord. Hey, cheers to you for being up that early, 4 a.m. So where the heck are you at right now that it's 4 a.m.? Must be in Europe somewhere. Obviously in Europe somewhere. Judy V, she's on that West Coast time, 7 p.m. there in Arizona. Actually, Arizona, are they the state that doesn't have daylight savings time? Or am I thinking of New Mexico? Yeah, I live on the East Coast. Beast Coast, I should say. Beast Coast. Judy V fighting at 102 temperature. 102 Fahrenheit. I don't envy you. But you know what? You got that dry heat. Here we got humidity. So not as hot. I don't know what temperature it is right now. Let me see. It is evening. Temperature of 76 degrees here right now, but humid. Ivan is in Central Europe. Oh, I missed the chat by the brother man. Says, I need to watch Rough and Rowdy this Friday night from Barstool Sports. Is that an MMA promotion? I'm not familiar with it. And Judy B says, there's no daylight savings time in Arizona. Lucky you. Don't have to ever change your clocks. But you got to, like, figure out what time everyone else is doing everywhere else, don't you? So that kind of sucks. I hate daylight savings time. Best time I ever had was in Korea. Did not have to ever worry about daylight savings time. Spent 3.5 years there. Never had to adjust clocks. Did have to worry about, what time I could call home. But something funny. Oh, I might have recommended this before. But if I haven't, I'm going to do it anyway now. I want you to check out this blog. I'll share the screen here. Sogo sogo-kaku.com. SOGO-KAKU.com. It is a blog dedicated to ladies MMA and a little bit to ladies kickboxing, mostly following the Asian scene. It is written by Charlie Jewett, an American living in Japan. And this guy has a great perspective on the Asian MMA scene, particularly in Japan. So the JMMA scene very well. Definitely. And he has been killing it lately. He's trying to write an article, at least one article a day. And that's in addition to his day job. So definitely go check it out. He just posted this one about Stamp Fairtex. Wrote one about Sahi Ham, about One Empower. Talked about Izawa versus Park. Definitely check out sogo-kaku.com. Good blog. Like, the articles aren't long at all. Very short. You can also check him out on Instagram, sogo-kaku, one word, no dash. And he's on Twitter as well. But he updates Instagram and Twitter every time he posts an article. So check it out. I'm going to try to get him on a stream sooner than later to talk about things. Judy says, Ivan is a faithful sub at 4 a.m. in the other side of the universe. It might as well be. I mean, good Lord. I hope Ivan subbed. If you're not Ivan, please make sure to subscribe. But yeah, that's either he's, yeah. Ivan, why are you up this early? I'm curious now. Why are you up so early? That is, I mean, because I get up, I'll set my alarm sometimes for 4 a.m. for work, but I'm usually hitting the snooze button like 5 or 6 times after that before I actually get up. So all right, it is 7 minutes past 10. Ran a little over an hour on the stream. Talked about a lot. Thank you to everyone who came in, even if you came in late. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Keep that algorithm going. I will go in and edit this, and I will try to add timestamps to everything. Yeah, Ivan says, been subbed for years, but missed a lot of your content due to weird algorithm. Yeah. You know what? And plus, the channel is small. It is hard to get the notice of the algorithm when you're a small channel. So that's why I implore everyone on each video and the stream to, you know, hit that like and to subscribe. And also hit the notification bell. It doesn't always work, but it works a lot. So, yeah, it's just hard. It's hard as a small channel to get noticed by the algorithm. That's why you got to get more and more subs and got to build it up and just try to build up like a faithful, like regular grouping, which I've started to get some regulars on, like Judy V's in all the time, to Brother Man. Who else was in here? Zazakita started watching more streams. Streams are good, are great for building an audience, of course. Did I talk about Malecki and Nunes? I did not. So I'll talk about that Thursday night. I didn't like that fight very much. I mean, great, awesome finish by Josiane Nunes, but just wasn't a big fan of the fight itself. Overall, it just wasn't that great. Josiane Nunes shaping up to be a huge threat to the jury's out for me. I mean, beating Bay and Malecki doesn't really tell me a whole lot. Malecki was only like 2-0 or 4-0, depending on where you look coming into this fight. A lot of like physical, like she's an imposing figure because of how tall she is, but we'll see. For me, The jury's still out on Nunes, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to get going. I got to get a shower, get a shave, because I tend to shave at night for some reason, just to save time in the morning. Got to edit this stream, add the tags, put in some timestamps. But in the meantime, like I said, thank you to all who have watched. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because otherwise you're missing out on so much. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hey, a lot of news covered. We got a great weekend coming up and a huge weekend next weekend. So definitely stay active. Next stream, Thursday night for episode, I believe, 106 of the WMMA Scene Report. I'll make a decision on whether or not I'm going to do a fight companion for Invicta. If not, then I will definitely be live tweeting results. So follow @NowWMMA, like I put on the name right there on Twitter. You can also follow me on Instagram, which I don't update as much, LETO1776, but I don't update Instagram as much. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.